Hello everyone, this is Umair Minhaj from Group 5 and our group has selected the book named Problem Solving Best Strategies and Critical Thinking for the Mind Map. Our group members include Zain Ali, Abdul, Hammad, Asim Ali, Shehroz and myself. So I'm going to cover first two chapters from the book, which includes problem solving definition and problem solving strategies. So if we define problem solving, we say it is the act of defining and determining a solution for a particular problem. And from the definition perspective, we have four different aspects of defining a problem. That includes evolution, psychology, software, and engineering. If we talk about the evolution perspective, where we use natural selection process and a design is chosen from a bunch of alternative designs. From the psychology perspective, we say that we used to deal with mental health. Psychologists say that use of self introspection, behaviorism, and experimentation to find a solution for a problem. In software, we use problem solving strategies where we use different algorithms and artificial intelligence to solve a problem. And from engineering perspective, we use reverse engineering, linear and non-linear programming and simulation to find problems within the product or process failures. And talking about the characteristics of difficult problems, where we have the lack of clarity, multiple goals, multiple items, decisions and relations, and time. Lack of clarity means having clear goals to identify a solution, and multiple goals that relate to situations where there are multiple goals that you might have to reach and solve problems. And multiple items, decisions and relations, there might be problem that may came with allocation, and for the time, estimating the time to which the problem might persist to avoid unpredictability. And now talking about the representation of the problem in the mind, where we say we have different objects, predictions, state of the mind and body, the environment, the operations, selection process, problems and causes. Problems are defined as models that represents the situations that the agent is experiencing. In order to analyze problem solving is break down into these six components, which includes objects, predictions, state of the mind and body, the environment, the operations, selection of problems and causes. Now we talk about the barriers to the problem solving. That includes irrelevant information, bias towards confirmation and the mindset. If we talk about irrelevant information, we say that problem with no connection or relevant to the problem at hand nor of any importance to the person solving problems. Now we talk about the bias towards confirmation. The bias is usually defined as one's unintentional need to corrupt or mislead the information that is obtained. Now we talk about the mindset. The mindset plays an important role to attempt to solve the problem. For example, fixation phenomenon, which is an obsession with strategies that were previously implemented. Problem itself is a barrier. Following refers to internal and external representation of any event that may link to emotions and memory. Now we talk about in problem solving strategies from chapter 2, that include abstraction, brainstorming, hypothesis testing, literal thinking, mean and analysis, analogy, proof, reduction, trial and error. So we talk about abstraction. Abstraction is a technique where the actual problem is broken down into smaller problem. Brainstorming, it is the perfect strategy to use when there is a group of people involved in solving the problem. Hypothesis testing, it is common statistical method where assumptions are made to explain problem at hand. Literal thinking is thinking out of the box. Mean and analysis, which means to create sub goals in order to reach the final goal. In analogy, we have three different aspects: notice, map and apply. In notice, we try to notice and find connection between source of problem and target problem. In mapping, once problem identified, they will have to map the attributes in analogs to the problem at hand. And then we apply, use the solution that we used in the source problem to solve target problem. Then we talk about the proof. In this, we have pessimistic and state that problem can't be resolved. Now we talk about the reduction. It's a combination of both abstraction and analogy. And final is trial and error, where different solutions are used to resolve a problem and may not find a solution in the first go. Now, this these are my two chapters.
Chapter number 3, the problem solving cycle. Defining the problem is the hardest part. We perceive a problem which might not actually be the problem and start worrying about it instead. When defining the problem, you must ask yourself and others involved in the problem the following questions. What are the causes of the problem? Where is the problem actually occurring? How is the problem occurring? At what time specifically is the problem occurring? Who is the problem happening with? Why is the problem arising? Repeat all these steps for the smaller problems in order to define the complex problem as a whole. Since you are working with other people in identifying the problem, you will find it easy to verify whether your understanding of the problem is same as others. At times you might have to deal with multiple problems. You cannot work on all the problems simultaneously. What you could do is segregate these problems into categories of important and urgent. It is essential that you identify your role in the problem. Your role in the problem greatly influences how you perceive others' role in the problem. Identify potential causes for the problem. You will need to understand the perspective who you are facing the problem. You will have to work on identifying the strategy and a solution. You can use a strategy of brainstorming and other complex strategies. Consider the following when identifying the best solution to your problem. Which solution will solve the problem for the short term as well as the long term? Are there any risk associated with the problem? Is it a realistic goal to the solution to solve the problem? Is it financially viable? Do we have time to solve the problem through this method? Now, plan on how to use the most feasible solution. You will have to remember that there are two sides in a coin. In the same way, there might be two sides of a solution that is used to solve a problem. What steps should be taken to use this solution? Are there any changes that you might need to make in your system? You will need to verify whether or not the steps in the solution are being addressed. Do you need any resources? You will need to schedule your entire approach. Keep the constant observation. Check whether or not the problem has been solved or not.
Hi, my name is Shehroz and today I'm going to talk about chapter number 4 and 5 in the book of problem solving. At times you might be the only one facing a problem and might not want everybody to see that you are uncomfortable or are deeply affected by the problems. Problem solving saves the day during such situations. This problem can be large or small, but as long as they are helping you to find feasible solutions, you will be required to tackle them with rationality. That is where you will be required to put on your critical thinking caps. Problem solving and critical thinking go hand in hand. It is only when you think creatively or out of the box that you will be able to identify a solution to the problem. As we saw in the first portion of the book, critical thinking is the process of observing a situation and arriving at feasible solution to the problems that are part of the situation. It stands for the entire process of decision making, starting right from observation of a problem and ending with a conclusion. The rest of the book was focused on understanding the process of the critical thinking and how you must apply them in your day-to-day life, and included how you can successfully improve your decision making capacity as well as how it is possible to alter it through direct and indirect means. Finally, we shed some light on the various ways in which you can benefit from critical thinking and solve problems in your personal, social, and professional life. Thank you.
Make the best use of time. Make the best use of your time that you have on your hands. Just by sitting down in an hour and looking back at the day that has passed can help in process of developing critical thinking. Tackle one thing at a time. Start by listing all your weaknesses and tackle one at a time. Step by step approach. Thus, in order to establish the habit of critical thinking, you must practice each step. Record your progress. One of the best ways to keep yourself motivated is to maintain a book. Record your progress by analyzing a situation and how you tackle a problem. Modify your habits. Spend some time on a daily basis to improve your thinking capacity. Tackle your autopilot mode. Before you arrive at a solution you implemented, spend some time to evaluate whether you are subconsciously taking the decision. Change perspective. You must change your perspective every now and then when faced with a problem that involves another person. Try and think of it from their point of view as well. That will allow you to arrive at a decision at a faster pace. Be reasonable or practical in all of your critical thinking practice. You have to be reasonable and practical to the furthest extent. Have a partner. If you do it with someone that you love or who loves you, like a life partner or best friend, then you will help each other develop mental sharpness.
Hello guys, this is Zain from Group 5 and today I'm going to tell you about improving decision making skills chapter number 7. In this chapter we focus on how you can improve your decision making skills. One thing that is worth bringing to your notice is that your critical thinking and making capability will only improve if you make the most of your brain. The following are the combination of both these approach where some will directly improve your decision making skills and some will have an indirect bringing up on them. First of all, distraction is something that take your attention away from something on which you should be focused. And second one is learning new languages. One of the best thing that you can do to improve your decision making skills is to learn a new language. When you learn a new language your brain start to grow and able to think better. Exercise you must exercise once a daily basis in order to out down on the level of cortisol in your brain. Cortisol is the chemical that causes you to undertake stress and affect your decision making capacity. You have to try workout of at least 30 minutes a day. And the fourth one is diet. You must consume a balanced diet in order to develop a good critical thinking and making capacity. Meditate is the best way for you to relax your mind. If you wish to be a critical thinker and also be to take timely and important decision, then you must meditate, take a relaxing stance. Social life in order to increase mental development you have to have intensive social life. You have to have a big friend circle and also try to have friends of all ages. When you interact with such a wide group of people you develop the tendency of all levels. Read. To be honest this is one of the most ideal way for you to expand your mental capacity. You have to read on daily basis in order to understand the various ways. And the last one is explore. You have to travel around in order to expand your mental horizons. You have to get out there you have to get out there and explore the world. You must make the efforts to going to the various places. Thank you.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum. It's me, Abdul from Group 5, and we have chosen the book Problem Solving. And my chapter is Benefits of Improving Thinking Capacity and Decision Making. So, this chapter is basically depends on three branches as professional benefits, social, and personal. Professional benefit further divided into four branches like idea building, like critical thinking can help building new ideas. Number two, teamwork. Critical thinking can help build teamwork, progress, improves professional growth, and client building, provides meaningful solutions. Moving onwards to the next part, that is social. It is divided into two branches: better compatibility, that it promote open mindedness, and number two, bigger reach, makes people reach out to you. And number third is personal, and it is also divided into two branches like less misunderstanding, which means helps to avoid fight distance misunderstanding, and the second one is better genes, imbibe critical thinking into your genes. So I'll just give you a short uh, introduction of this all thing. So this is basically, by applying critical thinking to your problems, you can formulate and come up with lot of solutions and helps encounter a problem in group, where you discuss and determine the various ways in which a problem can be tackled. Critical thinking improves creativity. When dealing with clients, critical thinking provides meaningful and feasible solutions to clients. Better compatibility is a major factor to determine whether a society can survive and progress together. In fact, critical thinking makes us more productive and motivated to solve big and small problems. And also, its daily practice imbibe in your genes and become a part and parcel of your DNA. Then you can pass it on next generation, helping in creating bigger and brighter future. So the conclusion of the chapter benefits of improving thinking capacity and decision making is that through problem solving skills and critical thinking you can find feasible solutions. Problem solving and critical thinking go hand in hand. Thinking creatively or out of the box helps you to identify a solution to problem. Like critical thinking stands through the whole problem solving process and improve decision making.